know the old made new. Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out like rain, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out like rain, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul, and your freedom is all that I know. The old made new. Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out like rain, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out like rain, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing, now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day.
Good morning, Rooted Men. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Church. Welcome to the Firmly Rooted family and the Freedom family and everyone else that is out there on board. Doing the devotions from the new house and turned it around a little bit. So I think there's a little bit of better lighting. Let's say hi to a few people. And we're going to be looking at Galatians chapter 1, verses 11 through 24. I'm out there on X. There's Chris Connolly. Good morning. Steve Ponoworski. Good morning. Bert Reggiani. Good morning, gentlemen. Chuck B. Shalom. Ken Gooch. Good morning, fellow brothers in arms. And there's quite a few others out there. All right. Let us know that you're out there. Say hi. I want you to have a perspective before we get to this reading. I just want you to think about what it's like for Paul. So I want us to try to put ourselves in Paul's shoes. He was trained as a conservative Pharisee. He followed all the Pharisaical traditions and the religious beliefs. So much so that after Jesus' death, he saw this, what he thought was a false theology running rampant in Jerusalem. and starting to run rampant in other Jewish areas. And his zeal to protect what he thought was the truth was so vivid and so real that he began to persecute the church. He began to break up families, businesses, and even allowed death to take place in order to protect what he thought was spiritual truth. He thought he was serving God. He wasn't an evil man. He thought he was defending the truth until the one who says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, knocks him off his horse and blinds him for 3 days, and he becomes a Christian. Jesus encounters him. Jesus encounters this crazy conservative Pharisee, and so radically redeems and saves him that he becomes now a zealous believer in Jesus Christ. It's 180 degrees, 180 degrees. And he is so passionate and he is so zealous that he begins to preach the gospel. And he begins to preach the gospel in synagogues in other places other than Jerusalem. And he begins to preach the gospel, and even Gentiles are coming to the faith. And who's his number one enemy? The people who used to believe what he believed and who were trying to take those beliefs and merge them and make them agree with Christianity, and they don't. People that believed what he once believed, and he's trying to convince them that they're wrong. And all he gets is hell for it. He gets beaten, he gets chased out of towns, he has to keep defending himself, he has to keep talking to churches like the Galatian church and say, what are you doing? Knowing the radical change that took place in my life, why are you allowing those false teachings to come back in and destroy your faith? Is that making sense? And so that's the spirit of the Galatian letter, is Paul is going, I don't even know where to put this. You guys, just like me, you came to faith in the one true faith in Jesus Christ, and now you're wanting to put all this add-on stuff in. So let's go to our reading. Let me pull it up. And read along with me, 11 through 24. For I would have you know, brothers, that the gospel that was preached by me is not man's gospel. I didn't create this. It created me. Jesus himself told me what the truth was and the true word was and what salvation and redemption is. He taught me. I didn't create it. I wasn't taught it by men. Jesus himself taught this to me. And he says in verse 12, I did not receive it from any man, nor was I taught it, but I received it through a revelation of Jesus Christ. Do you understand that the very one who was crucified, the very one who rose again from the dead, met me, personally met me, taught me? And now you're turning away from that gospel and grabbing on to old religious traditions and things, and you want to water down and you want to distort the gospel. You all know my former life in Judaism, how I persecuted the church of God violently and tried to destroy it. I tried to destroy it. And I was advancing in Judaism beyond many of my own age among my people. So extremely zealous was I for the traditions of my fathers. But when he, Jesus, who had set me apart before I was born, I think it's an amazing thing. He didn't say I was set apart the day I was converted. God had a plan for me. Even when I was disobedient, even when I was fighting against God, he had a plan for me. He willed me to be saved. He wanted to redeem and save me. And he called me by his grace and was pleased to reveal his son to me in order that I might preach him among the Gentiles. I did not immediately consult with anyone. I didn't go get some human affirmation, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me. I didn't go, hey, I better go meet Peter, James, John, and I got to go meet all these people. But I went away to Arabia. He went out to the desert. And by reading the book of Acts, it appears he was there probably for about 2.5, 3 years in the desert, being taught by Jesus. And he returned again to Damascus. And there it is. After 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to visit Cephas. I went to visit Peter and remained with him 15 days. He wanted to have confirmation that what he experienced was the same thing they experienced. What does that mean? The same gospel. There is a false theology out there that says there's a Jewish gospel and that there is a Gentile gospel, and it's just wrong. There's one gospel that is for everyone. I saw no other apostles except James, the Lord's brother. In what I'm writing to you before God, I do not lie. Then I went into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and I was still unknown in person to the churches of Judea that are in Christ. Just like they radically began to change their whole society with the message of the gospel, I was doing the same thing. They and me were doing the same thing because the same Jesus gave us the same gospel and set us free. Verse 23, they only were hearing, it said, he who used to persecute us is now preaching the faith he once tried to destroy. What he's saying is they heard about my work. I didn't go there and get their blessing. I didn't go there. I just found out that I was preaching the same gospel they were preaching, and they began to hear about this guy who radically was a destroyer of Christianity, now is one of its greatest defenders. In verse 24, they glorified God because of me. They glorified God because of me. If I were Satan, I would want to destroy the gospel message that Jesus did it all. The God of the universe took care of everything. That Jesus fulfilled the law that we could not fulfill. He bore our sins and the punishment that we will no longer have to face, and that we are made white, made sons, made princes in a new kingdom because he did it all. Man, that's freeing. That's the gospel. Add any more laws, add any more things, and all of a sudden it's based on our work. And the question is, I've said this before, even if we had to participate or take care of 1% of our salvation, how do we know we did it enough? How do we know we did it perfect enough? How do we know? We can't. And that's why it's not. It's not based upon our work. It's not based upon the things we do. Our redemption and salvation is based upon our faith that holds on the fact that he did it all. And the Galatian church is beginning to wrestle with the add-ons. Do you think that's the only church that's ever done that? We can go through church history and I could spend another hour talking about the fact that the church has always been faced with the add-ons. At Firmly Rooted, there's no add-ons. Do you realize that we don't even pass a plate on Sunday morning? I don't want people thinking that it's an add-on, that you can't be saved unless you give. See, everything we do freely because we want to, not because we have to. We do it in gratitude, not because of compulsion. That's the Christian life. That's the Christian life. That's the gospel. All right, let's leave it at that. Alice, thank you for joining. And Austin Jackson, great morning, Pastor T and Rooted Men. Guys, remember that we have the concert in the park later today, and you're welcome to be a part of that and join us there and just walk around saying hi to people, talk to kids and parents. All right, we'll leave it at that. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.